Hi everyone, welcome back, and today we've got some Dragon Ball Super card game content for you. This is going to be a update to the previous deck profile I did on the Broly Surge deck. So I've gotten some pretty helpful comments, or one in particular, on that profile, and I've updated this deck because of it, and I definitely think that it's an improvement. I've tested it out quite extensively to make sure that it performs really well with the change that I've gone with, and yeah, I'm just going to show you what that change is. I'm not going to go into too much detail with the deck because I did cover the majority of the cards in that last upload on it, so I'll just go over the new ones that I'm adding in and what they do, and we'll quickly have a look at what our leader does, just for a reminder to start things off. So here is that leader card, the Broly Surge leader, and he is a red-green card, and he's got an auto of once per turn. When you combo with a red or green card, you draw one card, and this is the skill that our deck is built around, basically. He's got an Awakened Surge, so choose one red card and one green card from your hand and place them under this card, and you may draw two cards and choose up to two of your energy and switch them to active mode and flip this card over. So we'll go over to the other side here, and here is his Awakened side. We won't go to this Awakened side very quickly with this deck. We're going to try and stick with the Unawakened side as much as possible, and only use that Awakened Surge when absolutely necessary. So his Awakened side, we've got Broly's Surge of Brutality. He's got an active battle skill of once per turn. If your life is at 3 or less, and you choose one card under this card and place it in your drop area, choose one. So you get to choose up to one battle card in your drop area and combo with it, and then this card gains double strike for the duration of the turn. Or you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO it. So keep in mind that you can only use those skills twice, because you have to sacrifice a card to do so. And that's it for our leader. So he's going to go up here, and let's get stuck into this deck. Alright, so originally the first cards that I showed from my deck were 3 Broly Dawn of Rampages, and I had those in there as Seeker cards to try and pick up my 6 and 4 drop Brolys. But it was pointed out to me that this slows down my deck a little bit using these guys, and I found also myself that even drawing on these guys to use them and wasting the energy when it could be used on something else was quite damaging to the way that you could run this deck without them. So I've removed those now, and I just rely on drawing those more powerful cards naturally. And I have replaced these guys, but yeah, we won't go over the cards I've replaced them until I come across them. I'm just going to show you how my deck is running now. And now the first cards that I have in my deck are for Chi-Chi Motherly Majesties, and these are great combo cards for this leader, because if you've got 2 red-green multicolored energy, you do get to draw a card when you combo with it. So mixed in with this leader skill on the Unawakened side, that means you get to draw 2 cards on that combo only once per turn, but that skill will only work for you once per turn. Next is Dormant Legend. So just like before, I'm only running 3 Dormant Legends, and that's a card, as I mentioned during my last profile, that we're never going to play. It's in there to be sacrificed to your drop area one way or another, and yeah, that's simply all we have him in the deck for. And this is one of the cards now that we will use to place that Dormant Legend in the drop area. It is a very multifunctional card, one of the probably most useful cards in this deck for quite a few reasons. We won't be playing this one as well. It is just for comboing with 4 of him, and the way he will work for us is when you combo with him, you get to meet that requirement to arrive, use your arrival skill, as well as get that Dormant Legend into the drop area by seeking it out of your deck and placing it there. And then when you do, you get to reactivate an energy and draw a card. And with that, you can usually arrival and get out one of your strongest cards, which is a 6-drop Broly, by your second turn, which is pretty crazy if you've got your hand set up for it. It's quite a powerful move, which instantly places your opponent under a lot of pressure. Alright, we've got another multicolored card up now, and it's a demonic Broly Demonic Origins. And this one is yet again a card that we're not going to be playing. He is purely for energy sacrifice, and that's because his skill negates that energy exhaust. If you've already got a multicolored red-green card in your energy area, you get to put this guy down in there without having to first use that energy exhaust skill, giving you access to him straight away. And now we've got one half of the super combo for this deck. I originally had 4 of these in the profile. I've cut it back to 2. I could have eliminated him completely and gone with the 4 of the replacement super combos that I've got, but I find that having 2 of these in this deck can come in handy because of his skill letting you draw 2 cards when you combo with him if your life is at 4 or less, and placing 1 from your hand in the drop area. Yeah, it can come in quite handy in a clinch. So that's why I didn't get rid of him completely. So that's Defending Father Paragus, 2 of him. And here's that second half of our super combo. So it's 2 energy cost, red-green, Nappa Demolition Man. And this is a brilliant super combo for this leader. So the way it works is if your leader card is red or green, at the end of the battle in which you combo with this card from your hand, play this card. So essentially making this pair into 4 super combos. So that's another reason why I only cut down to 2 Defending Father of Paraguses, because this essentially makes 4 copies of this card with that skill. And it works, as I said, it works so well with a leader card. You get to combo, super combo with it, and then this guy goes out onto your field, and then during your opponent's turn you can super combo with it again, giving you another chance to use that leader card's skill. And yeah. And then I've still got 2 Super Saiyan Broly Unforeseen Force. He's really good for getting to draw on some cards, so I usually play him when I come across him. So you get to draw 2 cards and then choose 1 card in your hand and place it in the drop area. and then you can choose any number of your opponent's battle cards with a total energy cost of 3 or less and KO them. So yeah, really useful card for those reasons. As I mentioned, we've got 2 of those. Okay, and now we've got 3 Godstrike Beeruses. So this is a new addition to my deck, and it's what I've replaced my Brawly Dawn of Rampages with. And this is also thanks to a helpful comment that I got. So if you're unfamiliar with Godstrike Beerus, he's purely used for comboing with. He's a 2 energy cost 10k combo card, and has a auto skill of when you combo with this card, choose up to one of the keyword skills of one of your opponent's battle cards and negate it for the duration of the turn. And this is brilliant for if you're going up against an opponent that is using Topa to counterattack you. So that's the Topa card that negates you from being able to attack at all unless you discard 2 cards from your hand, and I actually have that in this deck if you didn't see my previous profile. And this will put a stop to that, as well as many other cards that have some annoying keyword skills to them. And yeah, 3 of him. And then we've got another small change to the deck. So I have 4 Raditz Arrival of the Invader cards now. So my other ones did arrive. I originally ran 3 of these. I had 1 substitute in there because the 3rd one was still coming. But then I purchased a 4th. And made room for that in this profile because it is a really handy card purely for comboing once again. So it's a 1 energy cost 5k combo, but if you do have a multicolored energy in use, then you do get to reduce that combo cost. And because it is a multicolored card, it is really useful for arrivaling your 4-drop and 6-drop Brolys, which require you to combo with a red or green, a red and green card, or a red-green multicolored card. So that's why I have increase the number of him in this profile. Next is the Brawly Rapid Barrage, which is one of the ones that we'll be using the previous one to arrival with, and also requires that Dormant Legend in your drop area to play, and he is pretty useful. So when you play this card, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 10,000 power until the end of the turn. And when your opponent combos, you can choose 1 card in your hand and place it in the drop area. And then you get to choose one of your opponent's combo cards and place it into the drop area. And then you've got to negate the skill for the rest of the turn, but it does allow you to slow down your opponent's combo power, and 3 of him just like in the previous profile. Alright, then we've got another card which you can arrival with and get out pretty early on for just 1 energy cost when you do combo with that multicolored card or a red and green card. And it's been suggested I replace this guy, but I really do think that it plays well with this deck. Some people reckon to replace it with that multicolored Chomper Beerus card, but I don't find it as useful. So this guy, has double strike, he has an auto of when you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less, and you can KO it. Yeah, and it's a 20k powered card. So yeah, I just personally I find it more useful. So I've still got the 2 of him in this profile. And of course, one of our absolute most powerful cards in this deck is Broly, Tragedy Foretold. We've made no change to the number of him. We're running 4, even though you can only play one of these on the field at once, because it just increases your chance of drawing upon him. It is a really powerful card. You can get it out in your second turn, as I mentioned at the start of this profile, by comboing with that Sun Goten, which meets the arrival requirements and restands in energy, as well as getting Broly Dormant Legend into the drop area. So meeting all of our requirements with that combination, and allowing you to pressure your opponent really quickly if your hand goes well for you to start with. And yep, there he is. Alright, now last battle card will be the secret rare Super Saiyan 3 Scramble Raditz, Vegeta and Broly. And in my last profile I was running the 7-drop Kaioken Son Goku, Defender of Earth, as a backup to this card in case he ended up in your life and you really didn't get a chance to play him. But then I decided to remove him because honestly, if you got the secret rare in your deck, you're better off just running with it, because you can use this card slot to increase the power of your deck a lot more effectively. But if you don't have the secret rare, I do recommend having one of these in your deck. You will meet the requirements pretty quickly running this profile because of how many cards that go into your drop area. And yeah, you'll find that if played at the right time, this card can be just as good as having this one in your deck. So yeah. Alright, so moving into the defense for this deck, so we've got After Image Technique, Counter Attack card, really useful card, allows you to increase your battle card's power by 40k for that battle, and reduce one of your opponent's battle cards by 10k for the turn. Yeah, and we've got 2 of that one. Then 2 is at that all you've got counter attack cards. So if your lead card is red, negate the attack and then choose 1 red card in your hand and place it in the drop area. And if you do, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, and they get minus 15,000 power for the duration of the turn. And one of my absolute favorite counter-attack cards at the moment is this guy right here, Topa Righteous Aid. He's a 4 energy cost counter-attack card, but that reduces down to 2 during your opponent's turn. And you choose 1 other card in your hand and place it in your drop area. Then you're going to negate the attack, and then you get to play this guy onto the field as well. He has an auto of... if it's your opponent's turn, when you play this card, for the duration of the turn, your opponent can't attack unless he chooses 2 cards from their hand and places them in the drop area each time. So this is one of the reasons why I do have 3 of those Beerus skill negating cards in this profile now to counter this card, which can really put a halt to your deck, and as well as countering some other nasty cards. And got 4 of him. So the second last cards of this deck is 2 energy cost Denial of Hope, red card. He's a counter play card, so if your leader card is red, and if the battle card your opponent is playing has 20k power or less, that card is placed in the owner's drop area instead of being played. And 2 of that one. So the last card for this deck will be Vegeta the Cruel, 3 energy cost green card, and that reduces down to 2 if you've got a multicolored card in your energy area. And then you play this card, and when you play this card during your opponent's turn, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less and KO it, and then your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and places it in their warp. And we've just got 2 of him. And that's it for this deck profile update. I hope you find it to be for the better. The previous deck profile was still quite competitive, but I think this change definitely increases the competitiveness of that profile. So yeah, and I hope you liked the video, and until next time, enjoy the rest of your day.